Our pets are more than just animals. They are our silent confidants, our loyal companions. The bond we share is wordless but deep, built on trust and love. When we lose them, we want to honor that bond with dignity. Cremation offers a way to keep them close, a tangible reminder of their presence. We trust professionals to handle this final act with care and respect. What we seek is peace of mind, the assurance that our pets' ashes are truly theirs. This trust is sacred, and the emotional stakes are immense, but sometimes that trust is tragically misplaced. For 14 years, Clara's golden retriever Winston was her constant companion, her confidant, her joy, and her family. Their bond was unbreakable, built on countless walks, shared secrets, and quiet evenings together. When Winston's health began to fail, Clara did everything she could to make his final days comfortable, cherishing every last moment. After his passing, Clara faced the heartbreaking task of saying goodbye. She chose Evergreen Farewell, a respected local crematorium, trusting them to handle Winston's final journey with dignity and care. The staff were kind and reassuring, promising a private cremation. Clara clung to the hope that this would bring her some closure, a way to honor Winston's memory. But when she received Winston's ashes, a strange feeling crept in. The box felt far too light in her hands, and the ashes inside were unusually fine, almost powdery, lacking the weight and texture she expected. Doubt began to gnaw at her. Was this really Winston, or had something gone wrong? Clara remembered reading that pet ashes should be heavier, with visible bone fragments, evidence of a true cremation. What she held didn't match what she'd learned. The sense of betrayal was overwhelming, yet Clara hesitated to voice her suspicion, afraid of seeming ungrateful or irrational in her grief. Was she simply lost in sorrow, or was there a deeper truth she was missing? The questions haunted her. As days passed, Clara's unease only grew stronger. The house felt emptier, and so did her heart. She realized this wasn't just about a box of ashes. It was about honoring Winston's life, and the trust she'd placed in others to do the same. Clara knew she needed answers, even if they might be painful. She began searching for the truth, determined to find out what really happened. She reached out to others, wondering if anyone else had felt the same uncertainty. Clara's search for answers was just beginning. Clara, feeling uneasy and searching for answers, turned to an online forum for pet owners, a place she'd visited before for advice, but never for something so personal. She poured her heart out, sharing her growing concerns about Evergreen Farewell and the strange feelings she had about her beloved pet's ashes. Clara expected her post to be met with silence, or maybe a few polite replies, but instead, her screen lit up as responses began to pour in, faster than she could read them. Maria was the first to reply, writing, "My cat's ashes felt almost empty. I thought it was just me, but now I'm not so sure." Then Sarah chimed in, "My beagle's ashes were like powder, nothing like my parents' old dogs. I always wondered if something was off." More stories followed, ashes that seemed too light, too fine, or strangely impersonal. Each message added another layer to the growing sense of unease. Each woman described how, when they'd reached out to the crematorium, they'd been reassured, told their doubts were unfounded, that everything was handled with care. But as the stories stacked up, the pattern was undeniable. The same reassurances, the same doubts, the same uneasy feeling. The forum, once a place for casual advice, became a space of support and shared suspicion, a lifeline for those who felt alone in their grief. What began as Clara's private doubt quickly grew into a collective concern, as more and more women realized their experiences were eerily similar. They realized they weren't alone. Their stories echoed each other, forming a chorus of voices that could no longer be ignored. The trust they'd placed in Evergreen Farewell, once so certain, was now deeply in question. Doubt had crept in, and it was growing stronger. Their grief, once isolating, was now joined by a new resolve, a determination to uncover the truth, no matter how difficult. The women connected, forming an alliance built on shared experience and a need for answers. Together they vowed to seek the truth. Their voices, once isolated and uncertain, now formed a powerful chorus, one that demanded to be heard. Together, they began to see the bigger picture. Something was deeply wrong, and they were determined to uncover the truth behind Evergreen Farewell. The women met in person, united by loss and suspicion. They compared dates, staff names, and the identical reassurances they'd received. The pattern was clear. This was no coincidence. Their grief turned into purpose. They formed a group, the Sisterhood of the Paw. They documented every detail: names, dates, pet sizes, descriptions of ashes. Their evidence grew, painting a damning picture. They decided to alert the authorities, knowing their strength was in numbers. No longer just grieving pet owners, they became investigators. They were determined to hold Evergreen Farewell accountable. Armed with evidence, the Sisterhood met with the state's Consumer Protection Agency. Investigator Mark Jennings listened as they presented their case. The volume and consistency of complaints were impossible to ignore. Jennings promised a formal investigation. Undercover agents posed as clients, documenting every step. They received ashes that didn't match the animals' sizes. Lab analysis was ordered. Meanwhile, records and logs from Evergreen Farewell were subpoenaed. The investigation gained momentum. The facade was beginning to crack. Investigators dug into Evergreen Farewell's records. The cremation chamber logs showed far fewer uses than the number of private cremations billed. Fuel bills were suspiciously low. Maintenance records were falsified, and chain of custody paperwork was a sham. Metal ID tags meant to track each pet were rarely used. The evidence was clear: mass cremations, ashes mixed and divided at random. The ashes returned to families were not their pets. The trust clients placed in the business had been utterly betrayed. The Sisterhood's suspicions were tragically confirmed. The truth was worse than they'd feared. In a dramatic turn of events, authorities raided Evergreen Farewell, a business once trusted by so many, uncovering shocking neglect and a web of fraud that stunned the entire town. The investigation revealed a pattern of deception that had gone unnoticed for years, leaving families and pet owners heartbroken and betrayed. The owner, once a respected figure in the community, was arrested on multiple charges, and the business was immediately shut down. The closure sent ripples through the town as people grappled with the reality of what had happened behind closed doors. News of the scandal spread quickly, rocking the community to its core. Neighbors gathered in disbelief, sharing stories and comforting one another as the truth came to light. The Sisterhood of the Paw, who had bravely followed their suspicions, were hailed as heroes for exposing the truth and refusing to be silenced, even when it was difficult. Their courage and determination brought long overdue justice, and their actions protected countless future pet owners from suffering the same fate. The relief and gratitude in the community was palpable. Their story became a powerful testament to the strength of intuition and the unbreakable bonds of solidarity. Together, they proved that ordinary people can make an extraordinary difference. By speaking up, they sparked real change, inspiring others to trust their instincts and stand up for what is right, no matter the odds. Though they never received their pets' true ashes, they honored their beloved companions' memories by fighting for the truth and ensuring their stories would not be forgotten. Their journey showed the importance of demanding accountability, even when the path is uncertain and the answers are painful. Clara's initial doubt, once just a quiet suspicion, became a force for justice that changed everything for her friends and her community. The Sisterhood's unity transformed their grief into meaningful action, showing that together, even the deepest wounds can begin to heal. Their story is a lasting reminder. Trust your instincts, speak your truth, and never let your voice be silenced, no matter how small it may seem. Sometimes, the most important promises are the ones we keep to ourselves, and those promises can change the world for the better.